will be a bigger year. The Angel House will always have this purple evening tea to bring awareness to domestic violence. Um, about me, I was a worker for the state of Michigan for 26 years. I chose to retire from the state of Michigan, and you all have to bear with me because I am a crybaby. I chose to retire from the state of Michigan 2014. As of this coming Thursday, March 22nd, 2018, my daughter will be deceased for 4 years. But she was 27 at the time, 8 months pregnant, and her boyfriend stabbed her to death. He stabbed her 56 times, and yet he said it was an accident. I ended up losing my youngest child and what would have been my first grandchild. So after trying to make myself go back to work, I couldn't do it. So I took myself before the Lord, and I asked him what he needed me to do. And he had me open up the Angel House in honor of my daughter and her daughter, and to become an advocate for domestic violence so that I would be able to help victims every day of my life. The difference in the Angel House not being a shelter and the shelters that we do have here in Michigan, the Angel House is an underground location. What that means is that we're connected with 12 different states. We don't house anybody here in Michigan. When they come to us, they need to be coming to us because they are ready to go and not look back. We take our funds that we raise every day and purchase bus tickets, train tickets, and plane tickets to get those victims and their children out of the state of Michigan into another state to start a fresh new life for themselves. We do a one-way ticket so they have no reason to come back. Because if you give them a round-trip ticket, they might remember how much they love their abuser and come back to them. So to try to avoid all that, we keep them going one way. And God wouldn't want them to look back in the past anyway. He wanted them to look to the future and what's ahead of them. So with that being said, we give them a one-way ticket to start a fresh new life for themselves in another state. I get told off a lot by a lot of victims because they want to pick the states that I send them to. Well, first of all, if you pick the state, somebody already knows you there. Second of all, if you don't pick the state, you're going to have a fresh start for yourself, for you and your children. And that's the best thing the Angel House thinks is for you. So that's why I have the Angel House, to help victims of domestic violence to survive, to be able to have a life after they leave their abusers and continue on each day of their life. And hopefully prayerfully, it will be a happy life that they have for themselves. I decided to have this event today because these women on the panel, I've met each one of them individually, separately, in different ways, but they all touched my heart. Two of them have their own nonprofit organization, and that showed me that they're trying to do something for the victims that are left out here in this world, and we need to merge together. None of us have grants. My situation is we all get turned down for grants because we're grassrooted, and what that means, we are under 5 years, so nobody wants to give us any money to prove that we can go forward. But we know a God that can change everything. So this is why we're here tonight, so that you can hear these ladies' stories on domestic violence, what they have been through, and what they refuse to go through anymore. And I also need to let you know the Angel House has support groups Monday through Thursday from 12 to 1:30. A lot of us don't have insurance. A lot of us can't afford to go see a psychiatrist. A lot of us can't afford a therapist. So you come to the Angel House absolutely free. You let your heart and soul out, and if you're not ready for it, you sit there and you listen to the other women let their hearts and souls out, and eventually you'll be opened up. This might have happened to you when you were 8 or 9 years old, and you're 25, 50 now, and you need to still let it go. We're there for you, so you can do just that at our support groups. Excuse me, we also have a class, Thriving After Abuse. That class is very important to me, and it's a part of my heart. Thriving After Abuse is a class that we offer. It's a 6-week course. It costs $40. You get your textbook included in that $40. You go through that class for those 6 weeks, and you will realize you went from a victim to a survivor, and now that you can thrive. So that's our goal for our class. That's our goal for our textbooks. And we, like I said, we don't have grants. So we go by just what we live off of, the donations, giving fundraisers every month. And last but not least, we give a fundraiser every day. And what we mean when we say we give a fundraiser every day, we collect unwanted used shoes, men, women, or children, and not nothing you would throw in the trash, please. We collect unwanted purses, we collect unwanted cell phones, and we collect pennies. We turn all that into cash so we can continue to send our victims out of Michigan. We ask that you will continue to support us for all of our days. Thank you.
Now, Karen, you just said unwanted. I'm going to say a little bit extra to that. We want slightly used, okay? That stuff that you want, but you just, you really don't want to part with, but you know it's going to bless somebody else. Bring those shoes. Bring those purses. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So, Karen, I have another question for you. What is the age group of young people or older people? Tell us, what's the age group to whom you service?
We do not have an age, for the simple fact this is happening to little children as well as adults. So as long as the parent signs off that they can come to us for the support, to sit through our support groups, they're more than welcome.
So tell us a little bit more. What is domestic violence? What comes up under that umbrella? Because you mentioned children, and a lot of us may not look to children to be victims of domestic violence. So share a little bit more about what is domestic violence. What does that look like?
All right, domestic violence in my eyesight, because everybody looks at it different. A lot of people will feel just because they're being verbally abused, that's not violence, that's violence. Domestic violence is not just physical with someone putting their hands on you. Our babies go to school, and I go out to these elementary schools all the way through universities and speak. But when I go out to speak to our babies, it touches my heart because they listen to my story, they listen to what I have to say, and they realize, yes, they pick up their bullying situations. Because if they see their dads beating their moms or their moms beating their dad, that's what they see in their household. So they might go to school and pull a little girl's hair or call out their names, but they're seeing what they see going on at home. So they bring that to school, not knowing that that's a form of bullying. But it is a form of bullying. By pulling somebody's hair, calling them out their names, pushing them, all that I have to teach to these babies, that's a form of bullying. If you are 5, 6, 9 years old and you're at home, your stepfather is touching different parts of your body, that's domestic violence, that's abuse, because he has no right to your bodies. So I let the little boys know as well as the little girls, nobody should be touching your body inside your home or outside of your home. Rather, back in the day, our parents always told us what goes on in our home stays in our home. That's not the truth, because you need to save someone's life by telling them what's going on with you. Just by me sitting here telling my testimony, I could be saving someone else's life. A little 5-year-old coming to you telling you her stepfather is touching her, or either her own mother. I had a 6-year-old girl, she told me her own mother sucks the nipples of her breast. Why is her mother doing that to her? That's abuse, and I'm glad that my talk at that elementary school gave that child an opportunity to open up so we can let people know what's going on. So abuse comes in verbal, emotional, physical, controlling. You have these boyfriend, girlfriends taking each other's phone. And then I was even told on yesterday something new. This lady says she has a GPS on her boyfriend's phone so she can keep up with him. I wasn't even familiar with that, but I'm learning as I go. Control spirit is abuse. So physical bullying for these little children, and then when we're teaching them sexual assault is abuse, they're learning. More doors are being opened. Even when I go to these employers like Chrysler and speak to their employees, what's happening why they call me is because these people were being abused at home, but unawarely, they were bringing it to work, taking it out on their coworkers. That's abuse. They're abusing their coworkers, but they're not aware of it. So I do go out to employers and speak to them to let those employees know that, don't realize that they're abusing somebody, there is help for you. You can come to the Angel House and take our Thriving After Abuse class so we can help you get out of that situation. And I hope I answered your question to domestic violence, because violence comes in a whole lot of ways, not just physical. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you can get all of my information from theangelhouse.org. It has to be all three words, and we do have programs up here about the Angel House, brochures about the Angel House. It tells you our website, where we're located, and it gives you all type of information for the Angel House. So we're looking for everybody to start supporting us, and you can support us by telling your neighbors, telling your co-workers, telling somebody in the restaurant. You can take some of those brochures and leave them at different places, libraries, grocery stores, wherever. But we need to help this, because cancer, lupus, MS, autism, all that has been brought to the front. Domestic violence is coming out, but it's not out there like we need it to be.